So it's good that we got what was it? There's a great statistic in the 2019 NFL draft. It goes 30 out of the 31 draft picks all were multi athletes in high school. So, today we get a lot of early specialization, which parents think is great, but in actuality, it's terrible for kids. Within reason. I mean, there's times when you want to focus more maybe later on, but having them, Eric Cressy has a great quote: "The best thing kids can do in high school over the summer is do yard work." And so we have a kid who's playing tennis, which is nice. That means that he isn't just being beat to death with football, but now he's transitioning into football, and he's going to be a wide receiver position. So, mom wants to use 4 sessions to help him build a solid foundation with working out in the gym. Doesn't want to injure himself as he's brand new to the gym environment. Also very skeptical of having him try out football, contact sport. So wants him to gain necessary skills and strength. Well, have fun with that one, kid, because mom's a helicopter parent, but it's you're gonna get beat up with the contact aspect. So when we start this, so when we look into it, the kid is a beginner, even though he's 16. We want to start with the lateral load strength and ligaments and tendons. But as some of the NSCA stuff will be a little more aggressive. They'll say things about, you shouldn't do plyos until you can squat almost 2 times your body weight. He's guaranteed he's jumped around and done stuff like that. So you can put power in here. But just know for the programming for NSCA when and where it would want to be in there. So it's based off of the test taking if you were going to take the CSCS, but if you weren't and you wanted to add in some plyos, just start off with lesser volume. Some conditions that you can come across injury wise would be chondromalacia, which is a knee issue that can be you're growing too fast, Osgood-Schlatter as well. So just communicate with the kid, have him do a couple sets of 5-6 plyos, and then chat with him the next couple of days to see how he's doing. And if he's not beat up, then you can progressively overload that way. And so when we take a look at this program, where do you want to begin, Brock?
Yeah. So I think it's good. So a few things. I say first and foremost, whenever you're the person that sent you that, whenever you do respond to them, let them know the first thing they need to do is convince the mom to get more than 4 sessions. If this guy's never lifted before and is trying to kind of prepare for football, so that's first and foremost. Obviously, it's only so much you can do. But I think the good thing about like a tennis athlete is going to be, assumingly he was good in tennis, is going to be great with agility already. Should be somewhat explosive. So kind of what Chris was alluding to. On the power side of things, we're probably not going to be as we don't have to start as raw. Like this guy's going to have some level of understanding, explosiveness, agility, things of that aspect. So I'm not just completely scared to give him explosive things. He's played tennis. But on the flip side of that, he probably doesn't have much experience at all. It sounds like none with lifting and the strength aspect. So the heavy lifting is probably what we're going to be a lot slower on. In that aspect, we'd almost be treating them kind of like we would just a normal general population client, with learning kind of the compound movements, just getting acclimated in the weight room. So I think it's kind of a hybrid situation where he probably is advanced or at least competent from a power standpoint. So we'll throw some of that in, but on the strength we'll probably have to improve a little more. And so I'd say like if this was somebody I'd had for a while or they wanted, I might split up the days into just kind of more strength and volume focus and another day more power. But with someone like this, I'd like kind of hitting everything each workout. Again, they mentioned they had 4 sessions. I'd like to know how many times they're seeing them, but I'm probably gonna assume they're probably seeing this person twice a week. Would be my guess. So and they're brand new. So again, 2 times will be more than fine to get to replicate, but I'd want them replicating kind of movement patterns each time. So what kind of power, I'll throw it, any ideas, Tyler or Yolanda, what kind of power exercises or explosive things would you think is okay for this guy to start off with? Any ideas?
Some med ball.
You say what, med ball?
Since he's starting out, I'll go with a med ball clean to learn how to clean properly.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I would say probably be a med ball. Again, even kettlebell, but yeah, I like med ball let's just start off. Let's start off with some med ball. Let's do a chest pass to start off. Okay, we'll go there again. Not going. We'll start off. We'll go 3 sets, and we'll go about let's go 6 reps. Again, just getting them used to it. You can work staggered stands, working explosiveness. And then you can even let's pair this up with just some week 1 we'll do body weight jumps.
I was gonna say maybe like skaters, since he's already kind of familiar with lateral movement.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yep, that's actually a really good one. Yep. So we'll go 3 by 6 per side. Nice. That'll be it for our first superset. For our next one, I'll probably get into some more strength, not max strength. We're not maxing right here. Let's go into a squat here. And again, we're gonna vary squats. A lot of times throughout, I love doing unilateral, but this guy also needs to build his basic level. So bilateral compound training is gonna be important too. Let's go about 3 sets of 10 to 12 here, because again, remember when we're starting off newer, we want to make sure they're getting adequate volume to be able to repeat the movement right. Motor neuromuscular capacity. We know that it's going to be learning for him because his mom mentioned that he hasn't really lifted weights yet. I'd probably pair this up with let's do a pull movement here. So let's go into some pull-ups. And we'll just go 3 by max to start him off. Again, so with some of this, when we're programming for somebody like this, we're doing a combination with him of obviously sport-specific movements, but also just basic movements. So you'll see a little bit of both implemented as we're doing this. Next, let's go into, I saw that the mom said he doesn't have access to a landmine, so let's just start him off with a dumbbell military press. Next, let's go into, I want to go into a hinge here. I like RDLs, really good for football athletes. Hamstring strength is going to be important. Let's go RDLs 3 by 10. Then I'll probably finish out with a little more isolation. Let's go with the, or unilateral, I didn't isolate. Let's go, I'm gonna go I'll go lunge. Let's go split squat. No, let's go lunge again. I'm gonna assume this guy's playing tennis. He has the competency to do a lunge. Maybe I'm not gonna load it heavy this first day. But again, we want to get unilateral stuff. Obviously, we know any sport is gonna require unilateral strength and stability. Let's go 3 by 8 per leg. And then here we've got a lot of our compound lifts in. We can isolate now again. Assuming he's in football, he's gonna want to get a pump. Let's go maybe a bicep curl. 3 by whatever, yeah. Then some kind of ab finisher here. We can just finish out with ab. We can just say ab finisher if you want. There's a million ab exercises, whatever they want to do. Really, you don't have to get too specific there.
We'll keep this as day 1, and then day 2 is going to be
1 more day. Yeah. Any questions on day 1? All right, cool. So again, we have just about every movement pattern. And you see, that's really what I want to focus on. If you notice, we have a horizontal push, we have a lateral movement starting off, we have a squat, we have a pull, we have a vertical push, we have a hinge, we have a lunge, we have some abs. We pretty much covered every movement pattern. So again, day 2 doesn't have to just be something completely different, but obviously I'm going to vary some things a bit, but it's going to be same goal, some power, some strength, and some volume, just kind of getting them acclimated with the gym. Let's go. I like what Josh said with the clean, as anyone knows, it's playing football or any explosive sport. A clean is going to be something you definitely want to master. And you see Chris started with a kettlebell. That's usually where I like to start. It kind of teaches the movement without the danger of the barbell early on. Let's go 3 by 5 per side here. Again, we don't have to, again, remember with power exercises, we don't have to go insane with the volume. Here we have a lateral jump from the last one. Maybe let's go into some box jumps here. And then again, remember, so again, let's go 3 by 6. Again, as Chris was alluding to, NSCA might tell you week 1 or program 1 with an athlete, you wouldn't want to start with this, but again, that's them being super strict and more safe than anything. But again, assuming someone played tennis, obviously I would assess him first, but if he's played tennis, I'm going to assume he can do explosive things without kind of the danger of injury. All right, from there, let's go into we'll go deadlift. So again, this can deadlift or hip thrust can vary. Again, you typically will again, you see football players doing deadlifts more than hip thrusts, but I just think that
maybe trap bar.
But I think we'll also see that change more and more as hip thrust. I think the hip thrust boom is kind of still recent, but I feel like it will transition into more. So either one works in the situation. Were you gonna say something, Tyler?
I just said preferably a trap bar, probably.
Yep. Good job there. That's a great point. Starting off with somebody that probably not going to have the basic mechanics to do a regular barbell deadlift. So trap bar would be ideal. Again, if you don't have access to the trap bar, you can obviously go suitcase or kettlebell as well. Let's go same thing, 3 by 12 here. Again, keeping it high volume to start off, getting them competent with the movement. Let's pair it up with a
inverted row.
I like that. You say inverted row? Yep, I like that. Inverted row, Aussie pull up. We'll go 3 by 10 there. Let's go into some bench from there for our next set. Go bench. Let's go, whatever. Again, 3 by 10. Again, early on, obviously, you're going to be filling out where they are. If you notice the weight isn't heavy enough, obviously, if you do a few more reps, that's fine. You're going to be, everything early on is testing out. Let's pair this up with a side lunge. Again, getting that lateral movement. So the other day we worked on lateral movement from an explosive standpoint, and now we're going to work on it today from a strength standpoint. Let's go at 3 by 8 each side. From here, we'll go into again, I like to go unilateral here. So since we did since we did deadlift earlier, maybe we do a single leg hip thrust or single leg glute bridge here. With that kind of seeing where he is. We'll go 3 by 10 per side. Let's get into another pull. Maybe let's go a 1-arm dumbbell row on this one. And again, I'm just thinking of a pull. It can be whatever you feel in this situation. And maybe we can even add in another, let's add in a B on this one. We'll add in a B there. We'll go with, you can just say abs, maybe like a side plank, whatever. And then kind of finish off whatever. Let's maybe for 5, we'll go into a good finisher. Maybe we go triceps. I'm trying to see if we want to go into some hamstring or quad strengthening.
I was gonna say maybe like a Nordic.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too. I like that. Let's go into some Nordics. Yeah, I like that. And then and then again, if time permits after all this, you can obviously do some kind of finisher, challenge them, farmers carry battle ropes, anything of that nature. I would say an optional finisher. I'm assuming you probably get them for an hour or so. It should take up most of that time.
The Nordics probably keep it to about 5 and triceps do 10 or so.
So when you look at this again, obviously these are going to be full body. And I'm assuming, I'm assuming 2 days a week. 1, because the mom mentioned only having 4 sessions. Again, first thing to do is convince her we need a little bit more to master these movements. 2, he's a high school student. I don't know what period of the year it is, so you might not be able to get him that more. And 3, he's brand new. So even if he had all the time in the world, I wouldn't be starting with more than three days a week, probably anyways. But again, this is going to be movement competency. So again, mastering these things early on, all the compound lifts, you see, we got to have them all in different variants. And then still starting off with some power and explosiveness, because again, it's football. That is going to be what it's a very important aspect of what they need to do. Any questions on these workouts or kind of any comments? Oh, I like it. Nothing at all. I'm going to put together a good program today, huh? Anything on this or anything you wanted to add, Chris, or anything about this?
Nope, looks good. I think I'll get into day 3. These can be consecutive or non-consecutive, just depending on the kid's soreness. So, and like you're saying, it could be, we don't know the exacts of the program, whether if it's Monday, Friday, it could even be Monday for 4 days, but just, you have 4 workouts that you'll be able to implement.
How long do you all think until he's able, anyone feel free to answer this, do you think he'll will be ready to progress to things such as maybe maximal lifts, max strength, or things such as like barbell cleans? What do you all think?
I mean, assuming that he's been, like you said, if he's been a good tennis player and he's decent of athlete, I mean, 5 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. I think that is really the determining factor. We're gonna assume this guy has some level of athletic competence already as a tennis player. I've tried to play tennis a few times in my life, and it's very, very hard. So if he was anywhere near decent, I know he has a level of competency. So yeah, I would probably say anywhere from that 1 to 2 month range. And now again, you never know. You might get in there and he's crushing all of these things, and you might say that, hey, maybe week 2 we need to do some max tests. Now I would still recommend 5 rep, maybe 3 rep at the most, but I'd probably say staying in that 5 to 10 rep max range starting off. But a kid at this age, really, muscular growth and all those things are happening at such a rapid pace. If he's competent already at movement patterns, you might see progression pretty quick. But I would definitely try to shoot for a goal of having him doing things like max strength and clean and Olympic lifts within that 2nd month or 3rd at the latest. Were you gonna put something down in that box there, Chris?
No, I didn't know if you were going to do 2 more workouts or if you're just going to keep it to these 2.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think you would need.
Good.
Because 4 workouts, I'll be repeating these 2 again the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think some things that you guys can kind of ponder from a monetary and streams of revenue standpoint as well. Think of your YouTube channel, and you notice like we don't have the warm up. ASCA will talk about the ramps. You got to know how to implement the raise, activate, mobilize, potentiate. But you can have all that stuff on your YouTube channel. So here's mobility drills. Here's moderate, beginner, advanced, and you can have football, basketball, baseball. You have all these athletes, and then you can design these programs for warm-ups, put those warm-ups on your website, sell them for $19. I have a program that I did for beginners, and I did that probably 2, maybe 3 years ago, and it's on our website, and I'll get maybe 2 or 3 of those a month. Nothing crazy, but it's $60 here, $100 there. And through the course of a year, you're making an extra 1,000, 2,000, depending on how much followers you have, and then you can post this in your story. And that's where you can use the hashtags, where you can direct it towards, as it says in this example of the individual. What do we got here? Does it have his name? I don't know if it does. It doesn't have his name, but say it's Peter, and Peter wants to get better at football. So you put in your main post and you say, one of my clients, Peter, new football player, trying to optimize his mobility. Here are 3 mobility drills I think would be great for beginner, intermediate, advanced. And so you can do one for just like a simple toe touch for beginner, 90-90, and then 90-90 with thoracic rotations. And then you put that on your Instagram, use the right hashtag, strength coach football, prep football, go and just have fun. And, those are the great things about those classes with Danny is you can learn how to optimize and seek out people. You can go to local high schools, you can go to the coaches and tag and use hashtags. And then another kid is going to come across it and potentially want to use that. They go to your website, you have a program, and you could have a mobile. If you look at Eric Cressy's been the master of this. And I think it's awesome to see these streams of revenue where he's probably making about low ballpark 50 to 60 grand a year on programs that he's developed well over 5-6 years ago with Mike Reinhold. And so he has a shoulder stability, he has a core stability, he has a hip stability. And these are 3 6-hour videos that people are still downloading in today. And that really blew my mind when I was talking to Brett Contreras. This was like 3 years ago. In 2018, he said he was still making $2,500 a month from Stronger Curves, which he wrote in 2014. So that should get you excited to think about, like right now, we all want to be making 3 to 5 grand from something we did a long time ago. So if you don't have athletes right now, get excited. We have a hypothetical one right here. Tyler wants to work with football. Yolanda, you want to work with volleyball. Start cranking out the drills, start doing the exercises. And then as you compile these later on, it's only going to bear its fruit in the future when you don't actually have to do it, which is nice. So when you have the program here, we got our, day one. Now you can go make these videos. And so and then maybe you want to bring someone on who doesn't know how to do it that well. Maybe you get an opportunity like Jimmy, our trainer in Santa Monica, put some great content out there with the Palisades High School basketball team. And that's just awesome, awesome content. And they pay him, I believe, close to $1,500 a month to go out there twice a week. And he's a contractor for them. And so that all came from all the stuff that he was dialing down a long time ago. So the strength and conditioning market, people will tell you it's saturated. It's so hard to make money, just like with trainers. But are they doing all the legwork to network and put out quality content to get in front of the kids? Because ultimately, this is an easy sell. You just have to sell the kid that this is badass, because then he's going to go to mom, and mom wants him to be safe. You say, Mom, I can absolutely make sure your kid's going to be safe and protected. These first 4, I think it was like block 1. We need to do about 30 of these blocks to make sure he's going to be safe. He's playing football, because last thing you want to do is have concussions and all this stuff. It's like, you don't want to scare, but at the same time, put the fear out there a little bit that the kid's going to be so much safer working with you than doing it by himself.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's especially that safety and protection early on. What do you all think? Since we wrapped that program up a little early, like what would be some, you kind of hinted at it, what would be some good warm-ups you all would have them doing, kind of based on that program we just did, or just anything in general? Anybody have some ideas of what they would do or start them out with warm-up wise?
I personally would just do lots of like stability, mobility, and his ankles, like ankles and knees. Yeah. Probably gets a lot on his knees, like from tennis, but things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I think, some of the things that I'm really looking at, especially with athletes, are going to be that the stability, like you said, for joint stability, making sure the ankles are good, some kind of stuff there, ankles, shoulders, and then, obviously raising the heart rate. And then once that stability is there, then that mobility, making sure he's able to get in proper range of motions. For example, we have a squat coming in that first day, making sure he can properly get in the deep squat even without weight, or maybe see even if we need to assist him. And I think isometrics is one that's underutilized when it comes to warm-ups a lot too. Just isometric stuff, even like just a kind of overhead hold. Thing that I always forget. I just call it the kettlebell hold. But getting the kettlebell holding it up, I think arm bar is what they call it, from like that Turkish Get-up position. Obviously planks and glute bridges and the isometric are underutilized as warm-ups.
The Turkish Get-up would be good.
Yep. So I think the Turkey, this would be something I really would implement. I love it for football players for sure. Any other ideas or any confusion when it comes to warming up properly for a workout? All right, cool. Any ideas from you, Chris? I know you kind of talked about
it. I was just doing a post right now, just simply for our story. But
nice.
I'm writing on there design a program for a 16-year-old. I used a hashtag for CSCS, but then I can put Fairfax High School because that's in West Hollywood. It's right where we're at. And so there could be a kid right now who's fucking around on Instagram, and he's looking at Fairfax High and he comes across this, and then that's how you get in front of the people. So, always remember that social media can get you in front of so many people. So whether if you're new into the programming world, you're more advanced, use your story and tag people and then afterwards talk about it, use the educational component. And if you really want to develop yourself as a strength and conditioning expert, every day in your story, if people were to go there, imagine if, you have a client right now, the 16-year-old, he's following you and he tells someone else in 3 days, they start following you. If that kid in 3 days goes to your story and there isn't something strength and conditioning related, that's a missed opportunity. He's going to go find someone else. So you almost got to be like OCD that every day there's a new person who's following you. So there needs to be something in your story that shows them, almost gives them a preview of what you offer. Let's see what we got here. You mentioned YouTube. You think YouTube would be pretty important compared to Instagram as far as putting content up, or maybe longer? I think that they're equally important. Think of Instagram as it's like the wham bam, thank you, man. You get it quick. Whereas YouTube, it's more bang for your buck long term. You'll make more money off of YouTube. You will you'll develop quicker relationships with Instagram. So doing both. So I would go with that analogy we were talking about. Your homework is to do needs analysis on a football player. So I'm thinking, all right, so common injuries that football players have. You're going to look at ankle, and this is cool. You can actually just type in NFL 2020 top injuries, and they'll have NFL reports that you can take a look at. ACL, ankle, turf toe, and you can look at those 5. Go to the prehab guys. Go to John Russin, Dr. Waterbury. Look at common things that they're doing. And then you can make a little video, 5 simple modifications for turf toe. And so when you're doing a Bulgarian, make sure your foot isn't flexed, make sure it's straight, use the pad. You put that in your post. And then now you take that and you do another one for your YouTube. And YouTube just needs a little more professional. And so if it's just exercise based, you can go to Fiverr, take your logo, your company name, pay someone $10 to have a little logo for you. So introduce it. Here's Tyler's football thing. Do a little intro. Here, working for football players. I played D1 football. Here are the top 3 exercises that I would do to make sure I'm strong. Because that's credibility. It's like, who the fuck am I? I'm telling you, I'm going to do some mobility drills. That's cool. But Brock, people that played D1 football, or played at just any type of, you have that relationship, you're going to establish instant credibility.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else, Brock?
No, I think this is really solid as far as the program. And I did want to ask Tyler. I know we talked. You were supposed to be seeing your new client for the first time. Is he training for no, he was what was he training for again? Blanking.
Triathlon.
That's right. Have you had the first session? How's everything been going?
I had one with him. It's only once a week though, and like he hasn't worked out in years, so it's not really even about the triathlon right now. It's just teach him how to move.
Getting him back into basics.
Yeah, he's not even like thinking about it. So I kind of switch gears and just kind of focus more on just functional movement.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, that's important. I feel it'll be interesting to see kind of how well he does over that first kind of couple months, and then see at what point.
Once a week it kind of sucks, but
it's the worst. All right.
And so I'll have class on Thursday, and then next Monday, who's going to be doing the programming call for designing it?
So we're gonna Yolanda will start with you, the volleyball play. So with Tyler, just have your needs analysis, bioenergetics, all that ready. We'll start with that. And then Yolanda will go into your program, kind of similar. I would say if try and design, you mentioned 3 days. If you can, try and design 3 workouts, maybe what you had started with in that off-season block. Preseason, I'm sorry. And then we'll we'll go through it and kind of talk. I'll have you give some of your reasoning, and we'll kind of dissect and talk about anything we need to add or take out from there. That'll be next Monday's call.
Okay, should I do like a strength day and like speed or like power, you know, like?
Yeah, I would say maybe, and again, that's up to you, but like, yeah, if you wanted to do something that's like 2 days more weight oriented and 1 day more plyometrics, that's fine too. So I'll kind of leave that open to however you want to break it down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you said pick an athlete, do a need, and start like making a program for him?
Yeah, for you you can start, but for next week, all we're gonna do is your breakdown and kind of needs analysis. So I can send you a list of things.
Gotcha.
I just want you, so give me his background bio, so where he, how old he is, kind of where his training age is at, if he's well conditioned or not. Talk about the sport, so we'll break down the movements and kind of physiological analysis of the sport. So what are some of the main movements in it, and muscle groups or major muscle groups really involved, joints, common injuries. Then we'll give us the bioenergetics. So basically, kind of what is the sport mainly? ATP PC? Is it mainly glycolytic? Is it mainly aerobic, or is it a combination? And then just his individual goals. And then what point in the season you'll be programming for. We're going to mix it up a lot. We'll do some off season, some in season, some preseason. So and choose which point of the season it's going to be for him.
I have a question.
Yep.
So for my athlete, like would it be like only like 1 day like in the gym like for weights, you know, and then like the other ones would be like actually like more sport specific, or is it
No, I would say think in gym. So that's why at least 2 days in the gym.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So again, in season that might change a bit, but preseason you'll still have athletes in the weight room at least twice.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? So if not, Thursday we'll do our Q&A for the chapter review. So you should be up to date on chapters, through chapters 10. So make sure you review the questions for 8, 9, and 10. We'll go through those, and also make sure if you get a chance, I would watch the review from the RD Carly we had. It's on the sheet. So if you have time to do that, I'll do that.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you.
All right. Have a good one.